Oh shoot, here we go again. Hey, listen, gather around the board right now because there are a lot of things that we are going to get into today. My mouth might not be working perfectly, but my mind is sharp and the receipts are sitting right in front of me. Woo! It seems like the media is still focusing on this hack. Yeah, I'm talking about HAKEEM the Hack Jeffries. The corporate press is running around doing their standard protective coverage, trying to build a fortress around this man. But the real story is what they are leaving out. See, they put HAKEEM Jeffries up there by himself, standing at that shiny podium looking all polished and crisp for the cameras. He was completely heard, clear as a bell. But if you watch that footage, the media for some reason was completely silenced. You can hear them muttering and mumbling in the background, but the volume is turned so low you couldn't make out a single word they were saying. That is a silent audio trick, y'all. They run that trick in the background to hide the reality of what's going down. They want HAKEEM to sound like the voice of authority while the people asking the hard questions sound like background noise. It's a psychological operation. So I decided to personally scour the internet, dig up the transcripts, and let you know exactly what the media was saying. And woo, boy, the press was really riding his back on this one. The media looked like they were doing at least a halfway good job for once because they were sure blasting him. So I'm taking y'all on a ride today so you can understand exactly what went down behind that artificial silence. I need you to watch this video all the way to the very end because we are going to show you the absolute hypocrisy of the left and how they orchestrated this whole illusion. They are going through it right now, y'all. They got HAKEEM Jeffries out here looking like a lightning rod in a thunderstorm, catching all the boats while the people who set the trap try to run for cover. Let me fill you in real quick with a major point of fact, okay? I can show you the receipts because you know that we at Political Detox, we don't lie to our detoxers. Why? Because we've already been detoxed. And that's just a fact because you sitting there watching and listening to what I'm saying right now. We are breaking down the absolute political theater happening at the highest levels of the corporate political machine. And I need you to see what I'm actually picking for you to not put down when these people step up to the microphones. This is the ultimate HAKEEM Jeffries exposed moment, and we are going to look at the exact numbers. Now look, I'm about to roll the tape on this presser because you need to hear the actual heat they were throwing at him under that muffled audio. Watch how Manu Raju over at CNN steps up to the microphone and really rides his back on this redistricting mess. Whoa! Listen to the question they tried to hide. Raju asked him point blank, "Leader Jeffries, your party has suffered back-to-back legal defeats on redistricting, specifically with the Virginia Supreme Court tossing out the map referendum. Your path to a House majority just got significantly harder. How do you respond to accusations that this was an illegal power grab that completely backfired?" Now watch the screen, because HAKEEM is going to step right up to that polished podium and give you his absolute classic theatrical take on it.
We spent $60 million. They spent over $40 million. The people of Virginia were very clear. Money's not going to be a problem for us, and enthusiasm is not going to be a problem for us. But what's going to be a problem for the other side of the aisle? I don't know what you're asking, but because the reality is we're going to continue full steam ahead, period, full stop. That's just the reality of the situation. And Republicans have the narrowest majority of any party since 1930. They are not going to be able to rig the midterm elections, period, full stop.
He stood there and told the world that the courts are performing a disgusting, unprecedented assault on black political representation.
We're going to win 2 or 3 seats, regardless of whether the current Virginia Supreme Court decision holds, which was a disgusting decision to invalidate the votes and the voices of more than 3 million people in Virginia. How desperate are these MAGA extremists? Because they know they're going down in flames electorally in November. They know it. And that's why they're behaving in such a desperate fashion. So we are going to proceed. We'll see what happens with the Supreme Court appeal that was filed by the Virginia Attorney General. It's not as if we have great faith in the fairness of the United States Supreme Court, but we'll let the process play itself out. We're operating under the assumption that the map is what the map is right now in advance of 2026. It may change in advance of 2028, but we're winning Virginia 1 and we're winning Virginia too. And we have a shot to flip those other 2 seats under this current map. And that's what we're resolved to do.
Talking about the ghost of the Confederacy driving these efforts. Whoa, did y'all see this mess on the news? Or did you hear about how they got caught cold out here? Look at this man trying to flip the script when his whole house of cards just got blown away by the legal system. He jumped up on my TV acting like he the champion of the people, but let's look at the real math. The state Supreme Court flat out deleted his redrawn map because his backroom operation tried to bypass standard election procedures. They call it a Virginia map failure, but it's a structural collapse. They spent over $60 million of heavy donor money trying to lock in those seats, what looks like a straight-up $60 million heist on the political process, and the court didn't disenfranchise anybody. They just caught him trying to cook the geometry of the districts. Now, he claims he's mad for the voters because he wants people to think black people are being disenfranchised. Nah, hell nah. Come on, y'all. Is it possible that HAKEEM the Hack Jeffries is no more than a fall guy in all of this? Think about it. They throw him out there to take the punches while the real architects try to slide out the back door. He isn't mad for the voters. He mad because his $60 million investment just got stamped with a big fat void, and his path to power just hit a concrete wall. His baseline target to get the speaker's gavel just jumped from needing 3 seats to needing 6 seats. Whoa, talk about a 14-seat trap turning into a total shutdown for the House takeover. But hold on, the press gallery wasn't completely sleeping. They asked him why he keeps dodging the structural errors his own legal team made. They asked him if he was just using a historical shield to hide a major strategic failure. And here comes HAKEEM again, shuffling his papers and throwing up the defensive walls.
And the big fight will be what happens in between 2026 and 2028. Because we know this unprecedented assault on black political representation, the likes of which we have not seen since the Jim Crow era, the ghost of the Confederacy has afflicted the United States Supreme Court majority and is invading and haunting the nation right now, and we take that seriously.
Man, listen to this right here. Hey, check out how they pull out the old playbook the second the gravy train runs off the tracks. Here it is, the ultimate play straight out the bottom of the junk drawer. The second the legal math doesn't go his way, he goes right to the megaphone screaming about the ghost of the Confederacy and Jim Crow. He's calling a standard constitutional ruling a constitutional mugging. This is the shocking audio trick they use every time the legal framework catches them. Let's tell it like it is. When you get completely out-negotiated and out-lawyered because your legal team failed to check basic statutory guidelines, you don't admit you messed up the play. Nah, you wrap yourself in historical pain, and I mean personal pain, as a personal shield to keep the donor cash flowing and keep your base from looking at your actual record. Whoa, their arrogance is thick. You need a power tool or something to cut it. And that's why Political Detox is here. We are that power tool. We cut through the muck and bring up the facts, just like Trump was right when he forced them Democrats to the surface. That's why they are hiding right now. They don't want to be involved in the visuals, so they just leave HAKEEM the Hack Jeffries standing there by himself. They put this fake messiah up there to try to trick those who use the term woke, yet they are sleeping. This is pure Democrat hypocrisy.
I've been very publicly clear about the fact that in advance of 2028, where we will have additional states that will come online, including but not limited to New York, New Jersey, Colorado, Washington, Oregon, Illinois, and Maryland. That's at least 7 states where we will be able to unleash a decisive and forceful response to what they are doing in the Deep South. And I'm telling you right now, we will. As several of those governors have already publicly indicated, and as the Senate president in New Jersey just said earlier today.
See, what the Democrat Party really did is they gerrymandered him. If you really look at the Democrat Party as a map, they carved out all the black people in their Democrat map and packed them until it's a tight, shaped line that leads straight to one black person standing at a podium. They set it up so a black man is the one saying it, thinking that means it must be the truth for black people and liberal white women. They using him as a visual shield to pull the wool over your eyes. Now look, I need to clear the air right here. I am not a prejudiced man, by no means a stretch of the imagination. I love everybody. But, yep, although that's what I think, this doesn't just come from me. The truth is, we all are prejudiced unawarely. It's just human nature running in the background. But what they are doing with this map layout is deliberate marketing. It's a hustle, y'all. Whoa! Is it possible that HAKEEM the Hack Jeffries is no more than a fall guy in all of this? He is at the point where he is completely running out of lines to fool people.
Yeah, our commitment is to work on the issues that matter for the American people, beginning with driving down the high cost of living. Life is too expensive. Democrats actually give a damn about the personal expenses of the American people. And clearly, Republicans could care less about the financial circumstances of the American people, as Donald Trump just said. And so we're going to relentlessly focus on making life better for everyday Americans, driving down the high cost of living, and of course, fixing our broken healthcare system so that everyday Americans can actually afford to go see a doctor when they need one. We need to take down the price of gas and groceries and goods. And we will launch an all-out frontal assault on this broken economy because Donald Trump and Republican policies have been a complete and total failure. At the same period of time, what is clear, based on the fact that Republicans have so clearly chosen a strategy of needing to cheat to win, and that can't be normalized. We're not going to let it be normalized. That's nothing to celebrate. That they may get themselves a handful of additional seats to take them from a 3-seat majority to a 6-seat majority. That's nothing to celebrate, and it's not going to immunize them from their failures. That should be clear. Certainly not in an environment where in 2018 we flipped 40 seats. But what is clear to me is that in addition to focusing on the economy, focusing on making life better for the American people, and focusing on driving down the high cost of living, we need massive electoral reform, massive campaign finance reform, and massive judicial reform. And that will also be an important part of what we'll need to do as Democrats in the majority on behalf of the American people in the next Congress.
It makes you sit back and wonder, is this man actually secretly working for us? Is he working for the Republican Party or President Trump himself? Because if you think about it, all he's doing is waking his own woke people up to the hustle. When channels like mine and the folks I listen to like Brian Maxwell, Liberal Hive Mind, and the Raw Commentary on the Street point this out, people ask, man, why you scaring people away? I ain't scaring nobody away. I'm telling the truth. Y'all heard me? And that's the attraction right here. Some may look at this as the ugly truth, but I got to go all the way in on this one because I ain't trying to be pretty. Pretty is for girls. I am a man, despite what Ketanji Brown Jackson couldn't figure out. These people are crazy, y'all. They are insane nuts. But we at Political Detox, and especially y'all, my detoxers, we know exactly what they trying to pull over our eyes and ears. We give you the straight-up commentary and talk from an insider's position, so y'all will be the smartest ones in the room. Now, let's get back to this, because it gets deeper when the economy comes up. They stands up and drop a heavy dosage of reality on him about the price of eggs and gas on the street. A reporter asked him, Leader Jeffries, grocery prices have hit a 4-year high under your watch. How can you maintain that the economy is working for families? Watch the screen, because HAKEEM is going to give you his take on it, and he's going to try to double down on the corporate talking points.
Yeah, our commitment is to work on the issues that matter for the American people, beginning with driving down the high cost of living. Life is too expensive. Democrats actually give a damn about the personal expenses of the American people. And clearly, Republicans could care less about the financial circumstances of the American people, as Donald Trump just said. And so we're going to relentlessly focus on making life better for everyday Americans, driving down the high cost of living, and of course, fixing our broken healthcare system so that everyday Americans can actually afford to go see a doctor when they need one. We need to take down the price of gas and groceries and goods, and we will launch an all-out frontal assault on this broken economy.
He blamed corporate greed and reckless opposition terrorists. Whoa, did y'all hear this one? Check out the absolute nerve on this guy. Man, look here. I know he didn't just stand up there in a flawless $3,000 suit under them bright studio lights and look down his nose at everyday working folks with that line. He got the nerve to blame the opposition for grocery prices hitting a 4-year high when his own party has been sitting at the wheel of the ship while it was hitting the iceberg. He talking about tariffs, but he completely glossing over the trillions in massive federal spending bills that flooded the system and sent utility bills and food costs straight through the roof. You out here sweating bullets just trying to buy a pack of chicken breasts or pay the light bill, and this man wants to lecture the street about pockets while his own expensive clothes cost more than most people's cars. Whoa, their arrogance is so thick you need a power tool. We cut through the muck, just like Trump was right when he forced them Democrats to the surface. They hiding, leaving HAKEEM the Hack Jeffries out there on an island as a fall guy and a fake messiah. They gerrymandered their own map, packing and carving black folks into a specific line just to put a black face at the microphone to sell an absolute load of inflation lies to black voters and liberal white women. I told you before, I ain't got a prejudice bone in my body, but we all got our biases unawarely. The difference is we call out the hustle when we see it. My detoxes are wide awake, the channels are watching, and we see the game from the inside. Now, look at this follow-up on national security. Manu Raju stands right back up to press him on border enforcement. He asked if the current policy is sustainable given the resource crisis. And here comes HAKEEM again, shifting the goalpost faster than a running back. He started demanding accountability and body cameras for federal agents.
Good afternoon, everyone. Donald Trump has made clear that he and the Republican Party don't give a damn about the personal finances of the American people. It's an extraordinary admission. But the reality of the Trump presidency and Republican control of the House and the Senate has regularly made that very point. Because under the presidency of Donald Trump and Republican control in Congress, the economy is a disaster. Costs haven't gone down, costs have gone up, and it's a direct result of Republican policies. The Trump tariffs have increased costs on everyday Americans by thousands of dollars per year. At the same period of time, Donald Trump's reckless and costly war of choice, where billions of taxpayer dollars are being wasted, has resulted in life becoming more expensive for the American people, particularly as it relates to the dramatic increase in gas prices. In the Trump Republican economy, inflation is at a 3 or 4 year high. The cost of groceries is out of control, gas is out of control, goods are out of control, housing prices are out of control, and the Republican assault on the health care of the American people has ripped away the ability of millions of everyday Americans to be able to go see a doctor when they need one. Donald Trump and Republicans promised to love and cherish Medicaid. They turned around and enacted their one big ugly bill, which is the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. And as a result, hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health centers closing all across the country, particularly in rural America. The economy is a disaster, and we know why. It's because Donald Trump and Republicans don't give a damn about the personal finances of the American people. Donald Trump said it, and he meant it. Questions?
Look at this. Listen to how fast the script changes. See how fast he pivots when the press starts asking about real national security enforcement? He immediately digs back into his script to claim federal agents are just out here violently targeting families.
He demands the masks off, the same exact mask he was telling everyone to put on a couple years ago. Whoa, y'all who listening know what I'm talking about. The hypocrisy is so thick you could cut it with a knife. But this final reporter stands up and drops the absolute hammer on him about the federal raids happening to his top map-making allies. They asked him about State Senator Louise Lucas, the queen of the map, getting hit by the FBI and DEA. Whoa, this is the part where HAKEEM ran out of breath. He froze up, shuffled his papers, and looked away without saying a single word. Let me fill you in real quick with a major point of fact, okay? I can show you the receipts because you know that we at Political Detox, we don't lie to our detoxes. We've been detoxed. Haha, let me give you the hoogie lowdown on this situation. We are talking about State Senator Louise Lucas from Virginia. The feds just descended on Portsmouth, executing search warrants right at her legislative office and her cannabis dispensary. This isn't a drill. The feds are officially investigating heavy allegations of corruption and bribery tied directly to that business under Section 242 federal guidelines. Whoa, Section 242 is that heavy-hitting federal statute dealing with the deprivation of rights under color of law, meaning when a public official uses their official state power to run a personal operation or a backroom fiscal scheme, the feds take total jurisdiction. She was writing the literal rules and laws for her territory while occupying the highest legislative position, ruling over the people. She was the co-sponsor of the bill she stands to personally profit from, allegedly. Haha, we use that word for the protection of the channel, but the receipts don't lie. This is exactly why that location got hit. Lucas is the heavy-hitting map maker for the corporate Democrat machine in Virginia, working hand in hand with the top party leadership to cook the districts. When the feds step in and bust open an active corruption investigation at her headquarters, it targets the literal structural engine of the party's operations. Whoa, you see what I'm actually picking up for you to not put down? So when the press asked HAKEEM about his partner in maps getting hit by the feds, suddenly the man ran completely out of breath. He acts like he can't even hear the question. This is a serious point on how the game is played. But see, there's an entire silent layer to this whole charade. Like I told you, they deliberately keep the media not being heard clearly on purpose, so that HAKEEM the Hack Jeffries comes off looking completely polished. It's a total auditory illusion to protect the golden boy, while his whole operation is falling apart at the seams. When your main master architects are dodging federal agents, your whole house of cards is already on fire. The math don't lie, the geometry of power has shifted, and the cleanup is already underway. Whoa, they panicking because they can't cheat the math anymore. Haha, they can talk all day from those polished podiums, but the street-level view tells an entirely different story. They want us to stay divided, stay blinded, and keep buying the marketing packages they print up. But the detox is already complete. We see the board, we see the visual shields, the silent audio tricks, and we see exactly who is left holding the bag when the math falls apart.
We will beat the far-right extremists. We're going to win in November, and then we're going to crush their souls as it relates to the extremism that they're trying to unleash on the American people. Thank you.
Keep your eyes open, verify the receipts, and never let them substitute theater for the truth. This is MAGA 2026 strength, unfiltered, real, and undeniable. Trump didn't rig the game, he fixed it. He corked the snorkel. Whoa, the DEMs are panicking, and it's a beautiful, beautiful sight to see.